A normal Sunday ride.
You did.
Yeah. Back tires on your fence. This is one of my favorite photos with the sun. Here, this is great. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. All right, look at me, guys. There we are. All right, now we'll do the video.
The video? I'll do a video of you doing a video.
Good one.
Okay.
Ready? Good luck, man.
You guys go by.
Safe ride.
It's gonna be fun, man.
Neil,
It's a beautiful
I'm
morning.
Go by.
What?
I'm gonna drive up in front of you.
Okay.
Stop and get one more videos of you guys going by.
If you can catch us, okay.
Wait. I'm ready. Go.
All right, Mark. Good luck.
Good luck, buddy.
You guys, that was the slowest takeoff.
Come on, man. It's early.
Conserving energy.
You take off, Ozer. So there is bison down here. They come to this area during the monsoon season. All this green's up through here. About 85 out here. Nice little tailwind picking up. 47 miles. Should take just a little over 3 hours. With about a 15-minute stop. They do bat studies up there. They got a hike and mountain climb up there to recently studying the oh, what's it called? They get the fungus on their nose. They basically got to climb clear to the top. Pretty wild. Towards Mexico. 34 miles in. 47 total. Just pedaling around those. Storm or fire down in Mexico the way. Huh, not good. Doing good. Haven't had a lot of training. I can tell I'm out of shape. It's good. This is a flatter day, a little tailwind. And I'll be in by noon. Tomorrow will be about a 60 flat onto the dirt. With the incline. I'm pooped. It's about 3 miles from Nachita. Looking due west. That area there will fill in as a lake for the monsoon season. Due north, Nachita right there, thank God. And I actually got the only, let me rephrase it correctly, Mexico border over there, runs north-south, then back behind me, 40-ish miles, that's what I did today. I'm pooped, I'm out of shape. This is good. I'll get in noonish with my host has a steak dinner waiting, and do a little more riding around. Get the lactic acid out of my legs before I go to bed. I gotta share it because I can't fucking handle it. first corner, sweeps to the west. Some of it's going too fast. Just about clipped me. You'd think I would get a goddamn break, but I'm not gonna complain. So basically, I got like, well, from Machida on, it's dirt. Go north. You got about 38 miles or more of dirt. 60-mile day if I choose to do all of it. A little campground. Then a really short day up over a hill, paved road to Silver City. That's my story. I drank a bunch of water, but so what was he telling me? Highest UV rating here is the elevation. It's not super hot. The breeze is blowing out of the west. Maybe 85 out. I'm just out of shape. We'll get there. Well, my host Jeffrey is quite a guy. Really involved with the biking and the hiking community. Well, I think honestly he pointed out yesterday, because he took us down to Antelope Wells. You got the Divide hiking trail that he has to, so when he takes the bikers down, for the most part, and if not, he has to drive down and resupply the water on the trail in a spot, otherwise they wouldn't be able to make it through. And other things he's involved in the community. Pretty cool. 6:15 Neil that I started with yesterday. Started out a half hour earlier, 45 minutes earlier. The wind's gonna kick up by noon. We've got 63. Likely the last hour or two, the wind from the west will kick up. May not be super hot. Neil's worried about the heat. It's only 85. I think this has the highest, what was Neil telling me? The highest UV, like extreme UV because of the elevation in the country. It's fine with me. It's dry out. I just cover up. That's my news. Thought I heard a bunch of coyotes. They have coyotes out here. First of a few. There's no wind yet. Heard one birdie. Blood pulsing through my ears. Oh. It's dead quiet out here. Yeah, my legs are a little heavy. Which they should be. Let's see how this plays out and take it really slow. Probably get a little west wind the last hour or two. I hear a cow. Alrighty, peeps. Here we go. So Silver City's basically that way. That's a crow flies. 50 miles. And I'm not a crow. You know.
That was something. I can't, yeah. Now we have the bonus material. At the time, I remember even as we were doing this thinking, how would they technically pull this off? But now I think about all the movies, Lego movies, and how far CGI has come. You've worked on movies like with episode like Don't Mess with the Zohan, yes, where I know the script had things like, you know, Johnny Church.
Just starting out. First long stretch of dirt. Probably could have made it yesterday on a, was it 68 mile. But I'm in no hurry. Still, you know, I haven't worked out hardly at all. I test rode the bike a few times. Did some high cadence work. Literally shot hoop in the driveway for a week, so the bike had been gone for 8-9 days when I shipped it off. Still getting my legs. I want to get in early enough. This wind kicks up pretty bad in the afternoon. So out my news. Got about 25 miles of dirt to pavement. Tomorrow will be ultra short day in Silver City, which was planned at the beginning of the trip. Just to assess where I'm at. A lot of times, even though I've toured about 6 times, I'm thinking I'll probably might even still trim down some of this stuff. The bike is really heavy. The bike itself is heavy from the start, but you know, it's geared enough. I can just putz down the road or up the hill. But I do notice the weight And it will come into play when you're having to push it up some of these passes up in Idaho and Montana. Then again, it's just about taking your time, being safe. Got quails chasing me. Onward and upward. Subtle climb. Right there's Big Hatchet. So I would have went around. Jeffrey would have taken me and Neil around that big bad boy. So I pedaled around it. The western flank to the northern flank to Hachita. And basically straight down the road there, just so far. Slept basically behind the trinket store. Got some cool rocks right here. You can tell me why they're lined up like that. Just a subtle breeze. I'll probably be in by noon or 1 the latest. I'm going to get the drone up here a couple times and get some good views of this dummy pedaling down the road. You've got mountains all around you. Some over there. Yep. Bunny rabbit. Here's a gentleman, I think he's still in Silver City, which is, I'll get there tomorrow early. Per his journal, the hell's today? So about 2-3 days ago, he probably in here a little further up. You can get pretty loose if you get caught in some of this loose soil, your front wheel, you can't unclip quick enough. And he took a little spill, cracked his knee. You got to have your weight balanced out on the bike. If you're too light in the front end, you know, it'll still happen if you're going quick enough. And turn too quick or don't see it. I've unclipped a number of times just to be safe. Just got to pay attention. Well, you get in your ride in a heartbeat. But he hasn't updated his journal, so I wonder if he's done all the planning and preparing, getting here. And you're done in a second, half a second. Got to pay attention, man. So it's just a gentle climb. Had two farmers go by, cattlemen, not farmers, cattle farmers. So we're going through their land here. I think the gals at the store back there, I think she said the one person owns a lot of this, and I think there's one more property up here. They let us pedal through. Lizards going across the road, a few bunny rabbits, big bunny rabbits. Don't see any cows, a lot of tracks. Gotta pay attention in the cattle guard. Nailed it. Commentary on those signs. I posted on the Facebooks a couple days ago. Jeffrey, who I stayed with and posted, he let me get it right. Basically, playing off what Trump was saying about the border and all the racist shit. He wrote a letter to, I think it was Washington Post, about what was not actually going on down there. And if you guys watched that video, he actually had a Vice reporter stay with him, and they camped out. You have, within that little community, some Trump supporters that Trevor didn't make any friends once that came out, because there's nothing going on there. You got illegals coming in looking for a better life, but it's not the crap that Trump was saying. Abduction and all that is pretty much down to nothing compared to that. Ridiculous. The Three Amigos. Look at this shit. You guys are awesome. None shall pass. Yep. Oh. Okay. Thank you very much. When you're looking for handouts. Is the boss coming? Better days. Saying goodbye to all that. Looking over. New sights. This direction. just starting to come up. Nothing. Something.
Yeah. 2 days. It was 2 days, which I thought was really weird. I'm like, really? 2 days?
You got two days for one meal. It's
Yeah. Also, I know that some people would come the first day and then no one would come the second day. Like, you'd pretty much meet everyone that would want to say hi to me in one day.
And do you get a free meal each day, or is it just one for the?
They said dinner's on us. They said singular
Dinner, yeah.
So I don't think I get a dinner the first night, but I do get it the second night.
Wow.
Or maybe I get it the second night and not the, I mean the first night but not the second night. Who knows?
That's a real win-win for them, you know. All the publicity, and
I screwed up. That's
you
suspect.
should have done it.
So you grew up there.
Suspect.
I know, I'm fascinated by a couple of things. People that come from the same part of the world that I do, and are obsessed with comedy, and also people that have a music connection. I've always been sort of a frustrated music wannabe, and I think that there's a very strong connection between music and comedy. And I know that was part of your childhood, because aren't your parents professionals?
Both. Well, yeah, retired music teachers. But my mom was just, the kindergarten through 8th grade music teacher at a small private school, and my dad taught the local college, like music history. But they're eggheads for sure. They both have their PhDs
parts that fit your vehicle right the first time. All you have to do is look for the green check. So go ahead. Replace that dinged up bumper, find a car horn that needs business, cover up those seats, replace that air filter while you're at it. Why not? Might as well. At eBay Motors, there are 122 million parts to choose from. 122 million. This is the way to do it.
It is. I used to have to go to a junkyard to find things.
Yeah. I used to go to a junkyard sometimes just to hang out. I didn't even need parts for my car. People would say, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "I kind of like it here." And they'd chase me out, and I'd have to climb over a fence really quickly.
Oh, no.
Those dogs would be nipping at my heels. Anyway, the point is, get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices at ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. You tried for a while going on legitimate acting auditions, but it wasn't really until you started making your own stuff.
I knew that it was going to hit a wall. So, like, both Rob and Glenn and myself, we were working the way extraordinarily handsome young men in their 20s can get some work.
Sure. I did that, yeah.
You know, like the guy at the dock being like, "Yeah, I saw him. Yeah, you know, yeah, pretty decent guy, hard working, I think. I did notice blood on the finger. You know, like that. Like that.
How many Law and Orders is that?
Yeah.
That is my favorite observation is, and it's the same thing for Dragnet and Law and Order. Whenever they're questioning someone, it's like, no, anything else you want to say before we go? Well, there was one thing. He wore a World War I German helmet. You lead with that.
I don't know, whatever you think of that. And then, you know, yeah, that's...
So you did a couple of, like, one-line things. I did a Law and Order
and, like, a couple things here and there. I was always coming close. I was testing for a lot of TV shows to always be the best friend, never to be the guy.
Yeah.
Actually, one time, I got flown out for a show that was called Weird Henry. And they're like, well, maybe he could be Weird Henry. He sure seems weird. And then, you know, I think the studio saw the test and we're like, we're going to cancel this show. This is, the whole thing got scrapped after my audition. And then I booked a part on the Luis Guzman sitcom. Mm-hmm. And there were two writers on that staff that I'm like, these guys are really, really funny. There's Chris Miller and Phil Lord.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
So they went on to be pretty successful. And that got canceled after 3 episodes aired. And it was around then that Robert and Glenn and I were thinking, you know, why wait? Why sit around and wait for another one of these and then you don't even necessarily like what you're being given the opportunity to do? Why not just shoot something ourselves? And we were looking at the British Office.
Yep.
And how sort of cheap it looked. It just seemed very handheld and very easy to shoot, and the lighting just seemed like they threw the lights on in an office and filmed it. Curb had just come out around then, and it felt the same. The Panasonic DVX-100A camera, not that we were big camera guys, but Glenn or someone had stumbled upon this camera, and it kind of looked like those shows, but it was an affordable camera. So that combination of a attainable look with an affordable camera, and we thought, well, we could shoot something. There was no TikTok to just sort of throw it away on. YouTube, I think, was just kind of coming onto the scene. We thought, well, let's shoot a pilot. And we made a terrible pilot, you know, but there was a thing in it. There was something in the spirit of it that we thought, okay, let's redo it because it cost us nothing. And we had a lot of spare time. And then we said, well, let's shoot it again. We shot a second episode and we sort of handed that to our agents and we started going around town. Or they said, let's hook you up with a big producer. And we waited forever for someone to watch it. Nobody watched it. And while we were waiting, we shot a third episode. And that third episode started to get pretty good. We started to find our voice and our timing and get a little bit better at how to use the camera. And it was the third episode that Rob had his lack of patience was amazing and very useful. He was like, I'm going to fire everyone unless we start getting meetings. And they're like, okay, we'll set up some meetings. And we had an offer for VH1, I think, to rewrite it, or maybe it was MTV. And we had an offer from FX to shoot a pilot with a real budget. By a real budget, I mean like 1/10 of what a television show is made for. But that was 100 times more than what we were working with. We shot that pilot, they picked it up, they said, we'll give you 7 episodes, and then we did 7, and then they were like, okay, we're gonna cancel the show, but unless you can get a big name attached and they need to meet them and see the show like that, here we are. we passed Ozzy and Harriet last year for the Horrors, and they did about 1,000 episodes. You know, we've done so many less. You know, now we're only doing 8 a year. But you know, I think back then they were like, all right, get to work, and you're gonna do 50 of these. You know, but now, you know, so yes, we're the longest running. We haven't done most episodes, and then cartoons like The Simpsons have been around forever.
Don't tell me about it. I left The Simpsons in 1993. I remember thinking,
God.
well, this old horse has just about had it, so I'll just go to a late night show now.
Were you at all
thinking,
like, they'll never survive without me?
No, I'm deluded, but not that deluded. No, I knew that they survived very well, that they would survive very well without me, and probably be enhanced. But yeah, I left and remember thinking like, well, this thing has now been chugging along for like 6, 7 seasons, and it's an animated show, and it's very labor intensive. How could it possibly continue? Cut to 30 years later.
That's insane.
30 years.
Time for them to stop.
Yes, I. I only said that because I'm good friends with many people that still make it, so they know I don't feel that way. But this is really funny. Yes, they should stop immediately.
Have they had enough episodes for the characters to have aged a year? Theoretically.
Well, it's the beauty of it.
Yeah, of course they have, right? 365 episodes.
Yeah,
Easily.
they easily have, but I mean that's the conceit, right? They never get older.
They never get
they're
older,
just
and
stuck in
Mr.
that
Burns
thing.
never remembers who Homer Simpson is.
And
That's
he's-
my other favorite. Simpson, hey?
Yeah, that's
And no one knows how old
It's like,
he
well,
is.
sir, he saved your life. He once was in charge of the moon. Wherever you transplanted your lungs into his once. You once adopted him. All these, doesn't ring a bell. Which is a great, great conceit.
I would imagine we have done, every joke we've done on our show, they've done on 5 times. Like every version
Well,
of the
here's
joke.
the thing: is that it's funny because I used to think about this on late night because we were very determined to we want to make sure that we're doing sketches that nobody's ever done before and stuff that's really completely out there that no one's thought of, and we tried really hard to do that. And as time goes on, I think you're not competing against other shows; you're competing against everyone in the world who has an iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very, very difficult to outwit all of humanity.
Yeah, no, you can't. I mean, we are. You and I are, which is nice.
No, you and I can do it.
Yeah, we can do it, but
Routinely.
your average show-
We're like 2 gods on a cloud,
Yeah.
drinking out of golden chalices, looking down at mortals, and we're trying to imagine what it's like for them.
Yeah, we have a bigger platform, of course, but
Yeah.
no, but I mean, it's gotten to the point where we can't, even ourselves, where we're like, oh my God, we've done that. Every time we break a story, we'll write it, we'll be, oh, we did this. We did completely this. We have to scrap it. And
You know what's really fun is I love watching people 100% commit, and this is something you do really well, and the other cast members, but when you commit, it's something I believe in religiously, which is you have to go in 110%. When you lose your shit as Charlie Kelly, you go full out, and I think that that's a quality of the show. There's no restraint. When it's time to go, it is complete meltdowns, complete insane meltdowns.
yeah, I don't want to feel as though I've left anything on the table.
You have not.
It all comes up. And honestly, this is gonna sound like actor BS, but I go into a trance, I dilute myself, and I'm gone. And I'll come out of a scene and be like, I have no idea what I did. I hope it was good. And then I'll get in the editing room and be like, no, it wasn't, but that one was good. Sometimes I can't do that. I'm aware of the camera guy's here, and the boom guy's got a cold. He's like, but sometimes you just black out, and just, I don't know, just kind of barf out a performance, and it seems like fun on the screen, and the audience loves it, because they say that's real.
hand or whatever, but I shoved something in the bear's mouth, and I think the bear just recoiled at my eating this. And I saw the bear backstage talking to other bears, like, it just comes from a bad place. The needy ones do not taste it. You can tell he's a middle child. Full of cortisol, and it's just makes the muscles all sinewy. You know, someone's really needy, it makes the meat taste better. Yeah. Oh no, it makes the meat bad. It makes it bad. Good. Happy's how you want it. Yeah. I don't know why the bears are smoking in my The needy, of course they are. Of course they are.
It's like a sour grape.
What was it like for you to go from you're making this very handheld, like it's a mon pa shop and you're making your comedy, and then you get into something like Pacific Rim, which is one of those movies where I can't even imagine, because I can relate to you in the world of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and then when I think about, and even playing a comedic role in a movie, when I think about you in something like when that first Pacific Rim came out, and you realize, oh my God, it's such a good movie, and you realize that you're part of an apparatus that is so massive, and it's the complete other end of the spectrum from the kind of work that you were doing. And you did it really well.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think I was lucky that I got to have that transition working with Guillermo del Toro. So, as massive as that movie was, he has a way of working that makes it feel, super personal and specific. I had some green screen work, but most of the things that I was doing, he had built some kind of practical prop that was like animatronic that I was, reacting to. So it wasn't quite like getting stuck into like the Star Wars movies where it's just all green screen.
Right. You're always acting to a green stock or a green telescope.
Yeah. And Guillermo had a very, very specific way of working. He had huge fans wanted to do the job for him. I still admire him so much. Look up to a lot. But at the beginning of the film, he was saying, he's like, I want you to do what I never do. He said, I want you to be loose and out of control and wild and messy. And by the end of the filming, he was like, Ante Guarnieri was here. Ante Guarnieri was here. But that's just, I really enjoyed getting to work within his parameters.
Sure, yeah.
Every now and then, I'd be doing a take and like what I was doing, he'd be telling me what to do, and I'd be thinking, I'm not getting what he wants, and then I would throw it away, just do whatever I wanted. Yes, like that, which is always sort of the case. You have to make it your own. But it was eye-opening, just the way he used the camera, and I'm a big movie nerd, so I was just geeking out on his techniques. He was saying, he was like, I like to scratch the lens for the CGI shot. Scratch the lens. I want you to see, I don't know, maybe it's, I was doing an impersonation of him every time I heard him. But he was saying, I want you to see something imperfect before you see the perfection of CGI. The way his mind was working, I was just eating it all up. And then I would go back to Sunny, and we'd be shooting. I remember we did a episode where we're in a police station, and it's a flashback, and we're talking about this wedding massacre that happened with high bath salts. And I was saying, okay, when we shoot it, we'll do the coverage. Richie Keith, great director, had sort of blocked out. But I said, hey, Richie, after we get that, can we do a few Guillermo takes and just circle the camera around the actors? And just started using more, as I call it, Guillermo takes throughout the show. And we're just getting more and more inspired to do more filming and make more things.
The only thing that would be dangerous there is I know that in a comedy environment, you can take shit for that. Like you just came back from your Guillermo del Toro blockbuster, and you're back with your friends. You're like, we did it on Pacific Rim. And then suddenly you're right back in Rhode Island.
Yeah, right.
it's time for America to join again. Fine. In the cathedral, it is a theater. Better than a real cathedral. So none of that God talk.
Or we could, we could do some God talk before the movie if you like.
If you like, of course, it's all up to what you want to do.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Have some popcorn.
Have some popcorn. Get your feet off the seat. Turn off your fucking phone. But I saw your movie Fool's Paradise, and I really loved it. I really loved your film, and I love you in it. And you wrote this movie and you directed it. It's very sweet. And you guys haven't seen it yet because I just got this advanced copy that I watched. But it is very much evocative to me of Chaplin, Buster Keaton. It's got a real sweetness to it. Your character you're doing that same thing that Chaplin did out of necessity, and then Harpo Marx did, which is you're not saying a word, and you're very expressive, and you really are playing this person who is picked up by the Hollywood machine, and you're at the very center of it, and you're very passive. It's a little bit like Being There.
And Being There, I think, was my initial, okay, could I make a movie like Being There? No one's going to do that anymore. I guess I'll just do it myself. And then when I realized it's not totally working, I said, okay, can I combine it with Broadway Danny Rose, where I have this sort of sad sack guy? And that only then was I able to sort of land the plane.
Your character is so content in his own. I will say one thing. He's so content in his own space that at one point he's at a Hollywood party and he doesn't say anything. He's very much a Chaplin-esque kind of character, and he falls into the pool accidentally and can't swim, and he sinks to the bottom, and his hat just settles on his head, and he's just sitting at the bottom of the pool, making no effort to. And I thought, this is such a great example of how little this character wants or needs, and how passive he is. And you're just sitting there when another character comes in and saves you. But had that character not come in, you would have stayed there until you died.
Ended there. Which could have been an interesting film, just too short.
Yeah.
But an extremely passive character. And then, there's some justification, which is that he's, we meet him in a mental institution, and the idea is that he suffered some sort of trauma, and we don't know what.
Right.
He has almost like the mind of a child. And, there's another doctor there who says, well, if we give him enough sort of exposure therapy, and maybe if he has a meaningful connection with another person, he can sort of break free from this sort of regressive psychosis that he's in. But it's going to be a lot of work, it's going to be a lot of effort, a lot of time. And the other doctor says, okay, well, what's our first course of action? And the guy says, well, the state's not going to pay for any of that, so we're going to put his ass in the first bus downtown.
State I'm in by the swivel. For humid states, it doesn't make that noise. When it's dry, it's squeaky. I got two more lower hills and start dropping down into the campground. See the smoke back that way. It's clear here because I got a headwind and no fires that way yet. Had a wee bit of a bloody nose this morning, my left nostril. I think I drank probably four Gatorades. One of my big powder mix Gatorade. Super hydrate this afternoon. So I'll get in by 2:30 maybe. So looking due east. And then our city's basically right about there. super short day tomorrow. Antelope Hotel Bay. Get into town early. I want to look at my weight issue. The bike is actually the problem. No biggie. Nothing to report. Alrighty. Oof, no hill blasted. Washboard. Noisy brakes on the front.